We're now talking about what to do in week 2 when you wake up. You still do the same things you did in week 1, which was, as you remember, you set an alarm or you get out of bed at the same time every day. We make our bed and we brush our teeth. We're adding on to that in week 2 the fact that you're now going to get 5 minutes of sunlight, and that means you not staring at the sun, but getting sun onto your face. Again, don't stare into the sun, but have the sunlight falling onto your face while you're moving around and doing things or just sitting outside. And the reason for that is that sunlight is helpful for moving you out of a sleep state into an active state. That sunlight is going to tell your brain, oh, we've finished sleeping. We must be now moving into a woken state. The quicker you can move from one state to the other, the more alive you're going to feel. And we do that by getting the sunlight into your eyes. And the next thing we do in the morning on week 2, we're adding it on to week 1, is that we set our intentions for the day. This might sound strange to you, but what it entails is you deciding what's going to happen in your day. You need to be consciously aware that you're creating what happens in your day. And for that to occur, you need to think about it. It needs to be a conscious thought that comes into your mind. You decide what will happen. And in that conscious thought, you need to decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to feel this way, and I'm going to end the day like this. By simply having a thought of those determining points throughout the day, you're going to be in charge a little more of what occurs. For week 2, what we're going to add on is our 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out through our nose. When we get to the end of the timer after 20 breaths, we're now going to hold the exhale for 30 seconds. What that looks like, I get to the end of my last breath, I've breathed in for number 20, I breathe out all the way. Now I'm empty of air. As remember, the diaphragm muscle has pulled up, it's pushed all of the oxygen out of our lungs, and we are empty of air. What I want you to then do is close your nostrils, and we do that, looks like this. We just block the nostrils off. I don't need to squeeze my nose, I just don't want any more oxygen going into my nose. As you are empty of air, your body will soon tell you, oh, I think that we need to breathe again. The reason you're getting that instruction from your system is that we need to constantly be off-gassing a CO2, carbon dioxide. If we have too much CO2 in our blood, we have receptors throughout our body that will tell our brain we're not breathing, we need to get rid of this. The importance of getting rid of CO2 is our blood pH needs to maintain the same. Too much carbon dioxide can offset that. So when you are ever holding your breath and you feel you need to take another breath in, it's obvious to think that it's probably I need more oxygen. That is not the case. What it is your body wants to off gas or get rid of the CO2. Now that CO2, it's an important element of what it is all of our breathing is about. So 30 seconds having exhaled and then blocking my nose. Look at the timer that we use and count and get all the way to 30 seconds. If before 30 seconds you feel, man, I really need to breathe, this is getting really uncomfortable and I must breathe now, well, actually, this is the point of it. We're wanting you to move into a stressful situation purposefully. Purposely, because in our normal daily activities, stressful situations are usually out of our control and they aren't realistic. Nothing that you come across in the course of your day is a pure fight or flight, I'm going to die situation. But when your body is experiencing these high levels of CO2 and telling you you must breathe, I need to get rid of this gas, your brain will perceive that as an actual threat of your livelihood that may end up with your death. And it's a big reset. It's a big reset on your system. So you need to hold it out for 30 seconds. What that looks like is this. I breathe in and out, 20 reps. I get to the last one, I breathe all the way out. I block my nose and I just look at the timer. I'm waiting for 30 seconds to arrive. When I get to 30 seconds or less, if you can't manage 30, I just take my fingers off my nose. Now, because we've been empty of air, the next thing to obviously do is breathe in. Now we need that to happen through your nose and we need it to be however quick you need it to be, but once you've got it in there, hold it in there. So after I get to a point of 30 seconds or really discomfort, hold it for 20 seconds. And again, the clock is there in front of you. You can use the timer. Holding it for 20 seconds has now pulled all of the nitric oxide into your body that's been building up around your sinus area. This gas nitric oxide is released by all of the folds and all of the curves and all of the parts and the little shell-like structures that are inside your sinus area. It's a gas that promotes all of your vasal system to relax and expand. When you take that big breath in and you hold it for 20 seconds, you're going to feel good, you're going to feel euphoric, and you're going to feel quite relaxed because you've moved out of this situation of nearly dying to a feeling of very relaxed and calm. And that's the reason for this. Our 20 breaths keep us very relaxed, not breathing in again, a high level of stress, and then very, very relaxed after that. 30 seconds is manageable. Try it out. You'll get better at it during the week. You should easily get to 30 seconds if you're doing your 20 slow breaths. And make sure of this, you have to push yourself. You're going to feel like, Jesus, it's getting hard. I really need to breathe. Stuff what he's saying, I'm just going to breathe. No. Hold on to that. Look at yourself. Observe yourself being in that situation. It's realistic stress that you need to learn how to manage. That's what we're learning here, how to manage stress. So by lasting to the 30 and then breathing in and holding it, 20 seconds, that's what we do in week 2. So in week 3, we add on to what we've been learning last week. Now last week we introduced the 30-second hold. You will have got good at that. And now we're going to work on extending that 30 seconds to a level that you really do get uncomfortable in. We start again with our 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, always through the nose. We do that for 20 reps, and then we go for our long hold. What looked like a 30-second hold in the past, totally empty of air, block off the nose, stay there for 30 seconds. We just extend that for as long as you can, and make a note of that, how long you've been holding for, because you should be finding you're able to increase that. I'll give you the example of people who are free divers, that's what they are, because they've practiced and practiced and practiced. Now they do other mechanisms before they do their free dives of supercharging themselves with oxygen, but by you working on understanding what discomfort is, realistic discomfort, you're going to be able to establish a longer period of time that you can last. And that's the challenge for you. For consume week 2, we stick with our high quality salt on the tongue in the morning, and now we're upping it to 3 glasses of water. Now you might think that's a lot of water to start the day with. However, it's the best part of the day to get water into you because you've got the entire day to process and make use of it. If we get up and we're a little dehydrated and we don't do anything about it, we're going to suffer. Okay, our blood needs water in it. It's the first place that our body will take water from to do other systems. And it's incredibly important, and we keep that for week 2 and week 3. It's just 3 glasses of water, big glasses of water. Get it into you. It's the best thing that you can do in the morning for your body. For week 2, de-stress, you can continue using the cold water in the bowl that you've kept in the fridge overnight, or you can start introducing cold therapy in the shower. What that usually entails is you get into the shower like you'd normally do any other day of the week on a nice temperature that you're comfortable with. Towards the end, when you know you're going to be getting out, on purpose, you're going to turn the cold tap on and the hot tap off. You're going to make the water colder than you're used to, so you start becoming uncomfortable. How cold that is for you is for you to decide. The importance of that, though, is your body starts to experience that it's not a comfortable temperature. Again, getting uncomfortable, getting in a stressful situation on purpose is the reason for this. So you're going to stay in there for maybe a minute, 2 minutes. It's enough that you're going to understand I can survive and I won't die because I'm in cold water. If it's uncomfortable, so be it. That's the point of this. The more uncomfortable you can be, the more and quicker and faster you grow and learn from lessons. So that's what week 2 is, either the cold face plunge or getting in the shower and finishing on a cooler temperature. So practice that. See how cold you can go over this week. You've got 7 days to practice. Start a little bit cold one day and go a little bit colder the next day. You will surprise yourself that it will feel very, 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 very good for you when you get out of the shower. And the next day you'll do the same and just go a little bit cooler. And that's the way that we can learn and introduce how to use cold therapy. Now we're talking about food. In the first week, it's pretty simple. All you're going to make the changes of within your diet is to eat food that is grown. So what does that mean? It means that obviously we can't be eating things that are made up in factories. It has to look like it was just picked, or if it's meat, it has to look like it's come from a butcher. And that's pretty simple. If it's rice, that's fine. If it's bread, that's good. You might want to try gluten-free bread. But the first week, it's most important for your body that we start to try and remove anything that might be found in a processed food that your body has to then deal with, which causes it extra stress that it doesn't really need. Consider it like a program on a computer. We're wanting to get your computer running without any background programs sucking up energy that might be used to just have the computer running fast and efficient. Processed foods, there's lots of things in there you don't know what their effect is on your system. Any type of mental health issues that you might think you suffer from, you might find that they don't really exist so much the cleaner that you get your diet. Again, this is all lumped into a 20-day program. It's not forever. It's simply to allow you to feel what it might be like if you do remove a lot of these external influences from your own system and feel what it is like to have your system running naturally. That's pretty much the best way to put it. So on top of that, we need to take out sugar. Sugar is something that you know it's it's not that great for you. It's the reason that the world is suffering so much from diabetes right now and all the other issues that it entails. So what I'm talking about is if you look on the food packets that you're eating or any of the food that you're taking into your diet now, just ensure it has less than 10 grams per 100 of sugar. That's a good measure to start with. Obviously, if you're lumping spoonfuls of sugar into your coffee, that's going to be something that you need to change. Sugar doesn't provide any excess assistance to your body. If you Google, will I live without sugar in my diet? You'll hear the answer yes. But if you Google, can I live without fats or protein in my diet? The answer is no. You need to have fats and protein. Sugar is optional, and the option, we're removing it from you. Most people are in this pattern that they've had since they were children of thinking that they deserve something sweet because they've been a good kid. And come on, can we all agree we're grown-ups now? If you're as old as you are and you've gone your entire life eating sugar whenever you wanted to, take this 20 days and say, okay, I want to know what it feels like to not have any sugar in my system. And by doing that, you're going to get a very clear picture, probably within 3 or 5 days. It's not going to feel easy initially, but when you do take anything away from the system that it's used to, it kicks up a little bit of a stink. After that, however, you will feel better, especially in the mental health area. A lot of people I've talked to comment about mental fog lifting, and they just feel a bit sharper, a bit more focused. So think of that as being what the goal is that you're working towards in week 1, and get stuck into it, eating food that's grown and no sugar. Now for food in week 2, grown and unprocessed foods, that's what we're moving up to, adding in unprocessed foods. And if I need to describe what that is to you, then I'll just leave it to you to go and Google what processed and unprocessed food is, because it's something that should be quite obvious to us. What we add into the fact that we're not having any more sugar now is alcohol. So actually the two are the same. Sugar and alcohol, they're just different types of the same thing really. But taking the alcohol out of your body, again, think of it, it's a stress. Once we have it into the system, the body has to deal with it. The reason we call this the reset program is we want you to be able to feel what it's like to have no external stimulations inside your body, taking actions, drawing energy, diverting attentions. Once those are gone, you have a clear picture of what it feels like to be you without everything else acting and causing you to act in ways that are habits that have formed over years that might not be serving you at all, especially beliefs or that are self-limiting. And that might sound strange, but they're going to be showing up once you take out the sugar, once you take out the alcohol. So that's what week 2 is. Week 3 for food, we stick with our growing food, unprocessed foods, and we're continuing with no sugar, no alcohol, and we add in the biggie, no coffee. I know you've just fallen off your chair. It is possible to live without a coffee. Again, if it's a stimulant and it takes you to a level that you're used to, with its removal, you're going to get a clearer picture of what it is to be you, minus of all these stimulations. And that is where you're going to find a little bit more peace and happiness. The habit of drinking coffee, I must have a coffee, I must have a coffee. Just pointing that out to you is something that should make you realize that you're probably addicted to it. Addictions don't allow you to run in a smooth and normal way. They're an extra, they're an add-on, they're another computer program running in the background that's drawing energy, sucking resources, and not allowing you as a human to really be able to just sort of notice what's going on around you, especially if you want to start looking a little more internally about who you are as a person, and especially about how it is that your brain manages your own thoughts. Taking out all these different stimulations will open that window just a peek and allow you to have a view of what it is to feel normal and relaxed and calm, and still have all the same stimulations and problems and things happening around you. But now that you're able to recognize, oh, I can look at those in a different way. I'm relaxed and I'm calm. Those can still happen all around me, but I know how to deal with them differently. That's the point of what we're trying to do here. So we do need to take those out. Take this seriously. I'm only asking for 20 days. So see how that goes for you. Do it and then see how it goes for you.